What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And I think this is the fifth time I've tried to record this video, but I like to do them all in one take, and I've been coughing too much to do it. But even if I cough this time, I'm going to let this one stand. I'm sorry if I don't look my best or sound my best today. It's because I'm sick. But for those of you who are new to this series, this is my rambling series in which I talk about life, the universe, the things around me that are particularly interesting, and as any other narcissistic YouTuber, I tend to talk a lot about myself. So I hope you'll enjoy this. I consider this kind of like therapy. This is very therapeutic for me to share my life with this, like this with you, and your feedback is very healing, so it is always welcome. I always check the comment section below. Generally, when I talk about this topic, it is not very healing. I will warn you, but maybe it will be this time, and I'm willing to take that risk. But yeah, it sucks being sick this week because this week is a particularly difficult week to get through. Not only am I sick, but then I have a bunch of videos that I'm contractually obligated to film this week. I'm supposed to do my Loot Crate unboxing this week, and I'm supposed to do my gameplay video because or my gaming news series, which is got a sponsor lined up for it, and they're expecting that to happen. Then I've got a Francis video and a list video that I want to film this week. And instead, I'm just making this rambling video and then going back to sleep for a little while until it's time to stream on Twitch tonight, because I feel like a truck hit me. But I have a ton of doctor's appointments this week as well. And we had one on Thursday. We had one this morning. We got another one on Wednesday. And then I think we have like one or two doctor's appointments every week for the next few months because we are ramping our way up towards weight loss surgery. Now, I know when I say weight loss surgery, a lot of you respond very negatively. And I want to talk about that a little bit, especially for the people who are new here. Boogie, I can't believe you're taking the easy way out. I can't believe you're taking the easy way out. Well, I'll tell you something. As I've talked to my surgeon and his nurses and the nutritionist and other people in group therapy and other people who've received the surgery, even some YouTubers who've received the surgery, I can tell you calling this the easy way out is not a very smart thing to do because it is probably one of the hardest ways out. Because you still have to do the diet and exercise. It is easier to do the diet because obviously your stomach is the size of a peanut after the surgery. But you also then basically have to force yourself to eat. Even though you know you're going to vomit, eating becomes a challenge in a completely different way. Then you have to go through an incredible amount of pain because they eviscerate your insides. Then you have to spend a lot of money. And then you also, it's a hell of a lot more expensive than a gym membership, kids. And then, of course, you run the risk of dying. Easy way out my ass. But for someone like me, if you've been watching this channel for the last 4 or 5 years, even if it's just been off and on, you've seen me go through the ketogenic diet and the paleo diet and the vegan diet and the fasting and the intermittent fasting and the all juice and the no juice and none of it's ever stuck. And a lot of that's my fault. A lot of it's the fact that I am an addict, that I have a lot of discipline problems. I have chronic depression. I have anxiety. A lot of that stuff got in the way. But at the end of the day, after 5 years of trying everything that I could try and them not working, we're in a situation where bariatric surgery is pretty much my last out. And I am in this very narrow window now where even though I'm a giant old person, I have this window where my health is still relatively good, and I can get the surgery and still add decades to my life. I'm a real solid candidate for surviving the surgery and a very solid candidate for excelling after getting the surgery. And I think that's exciting. So that's why we're doing this, because I don't want to die. I'm a big fan of being alive, especially now that my life doesn't suck as bad. I'll get my stomach stapled, I'm going to get my teeth done, and one day I will be half the man that I used to be, and hopefully not look as appalling to myself when I look in the mirror. What's even more frustrating about this is last week's appointment was giving blood. This morning was giving or looking at the blood results. Not all the blood results are back, but most of them are, and the ones that are there are all very good numbers. Very excited about that. The one that was off was the vitamin D. And as it turns out, my body doesn't produce vitamin D. 2 ways to get vitamin D. Obviously, through drinking a lot of milk or supplements, right? But then secondly, through going out into the sun. I don't go out in the sun. Some of you may know this about me, but I am actually nocturnal. Because I do run my own business and I do run my own sleep schedule, I have always naturally chosen to sleep during the day and be awake at night. That's why I have such an awkward stream schedule, why I have such an awkward upload schedule. And it's very difficult to get business done this way and talk to clients and answer emails and do everything else. But I come from a long line of people who were nocturnal, and it just naturally feels right to me. I just happen to have that gene. There's 1/3 of the nation, 1/3 of the world has a gene that makes them night owls, and I'm that dude. And it sucks. A lot of it plays into the fact that I'm also afraid of the dark. I'm an old, stupid man who's afraid of the dark, and I prefer to sleep during the daytime when I have the best nightlight the world has, which is the sun. Also, if you go grocery shopping at night, you don't have to see quite as many people. Though the ones you do seem to be generally very weird, and I actually like that. Scary, but weird. My surgeon today, though, was fairly excited. I asked him, all these surgeons I've talked to before have been very keen on a particular weight limit, that you need to have a certain BMI. And I asked him about that today, and he says, well, as I said before, I have been changing my philosophy about that a lot lately, especially in cases like yours, because when we try to force that patient to continue doing things that has failed them, specifically when they have the hormonal structure that you do that makes it very difficult to lose weight, when they have the physical issues that you do, and of course have the eating disorder that you do, it can often just delay care, where we could do the surgery quicker, and then they have that much longer quality of life. And I'm like, well, I get it, man. Now, here's the thing. I still need to lose a fair amount of weight. And on Wednesday, we're going into to group therapy to talk about the pre-op diet and what we need to do in preparation for that. And then this is just one. Like, then there's a behavioral stuff, and then there's a behavioral assessment, a mental assessment, and an exercise assessment, and then 2 more meetings with the doctor before we can even talk about scheduling and all these things that we have to get right. Today was one check mark on a long list of things that will eventually line us up for bariatric surgery. But I think it could happen this year, and I think it could happen maybe, if I'm lucky, sometime in July. If I had my way, the day I get off of the plane from VidCon, which is the last con that I've already agreed to go to this year over the summer, I would then walk into the surgery center. If I get off the plane and walk into the OR room, I would do that. Then again, I would also walk into the OR room today, and now knowing what I know, I would have walked into the OR room 5 years ago. I was convinced, just the same way you were convinced, that I had the discipline, I had the mental fortitude, I had the physical capacity to lose it the natural way. 5 years later, I know I was wrong. That sucks, and I can hate myself for it. And I do. I do. But I'm trying to concentrate on the fact that there is still an option. And we have that option available to me. And we're going to take it. And I want to do that for you. I mean, I want to do that for you because you guys have been very patient with me, and you've put me into a situation where my life is worth living. And I really want to live it now. And I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And, my wife, I want to do it for her. Because just like you, she's put me into a situation where I'm glad to be alive, and I want as much time as I can. Plus, I'm already a decade older than her. It's unfair that I have to leave her early, that decade early. Why take any way more of that time? And if this doctor is telling me that we could add a decade, 2 decades, this is 2 decades, 20 years, it's possible added to my life. She deserves that, and you deserve that. And you know what? Damn it, I'm willing to admit I deserve it. And I'm willing to admit that I want it. Because I'm doing this for me. Because after a lifetime of misery, I'm ready to feel good about myself, and I am ready to feel a little bit better about myself, I should say. And I'm interested in doing a lot of things that I was never able to do, that I could do now if I wasn't trapped in the prison of my own miserable body. So, oops, sorry about that. Somebody just booted up Overwatch on my friends list. I will tell you this, and I did not know if I would ever talk about this publicly, but I am scared. And, man, I'm scared about a lot of things. Now, I have an anxiety disorder, which you know, so obviously I'm going to be scared, but I'm scared of dying on the table, man. I've always been. The very first time I talked to somebody about weight loss surgery 15 years ago, I said, I know for sure if I take that risk, I'll die on the table. Here's the thing. This surgery is as safe as it could be. And even at my size, and even with my surgeon, there's a 1 in 800 chance of something going wrong. It's more dangerous to have your gallbladder taken out. It's more dangerous to have your tonsils taken out. This surgery has been performed and perfected, and it's fairly easy to do. So I don't think anything's going to go wrong. I think we're going to be fine, but it doesn't work to appeal with the irrational part of my brain, which is terrified of this. More importantly, I'm afraid that if I didn't have the discipline to do it before, will I have the discipline to do it after? Will I fail and will I let you down? Will I fail and let me down? Because I've already got plenty of reasons to hate myself, and I sure shit don't want any more. Now, the good news is, from the research I've done, even the failures at the surgery lose 100-some pounds. And I could definitely use that. That could make my life a hell of a lot better. But my doctor tells me if I push it, 300 pounds is not unimaginable. And that would make me a whole new me, for sure. And I want that. I want a reason to feel better about myself. I want a reason for you to feel better about me. And by God, I think I deserve it. I think because you've put me in a position where when I was young, I just wanted to not be miserable. And some days I still am, just mentally, physically, chronic depression and the other stuff. Some days I'm just fucking as miserable as I was when I was 12. But most days, I'm pretty happy. Most days I'm feeling pretty good. And I want more of that. I think that the first half of my life had to suck in order for me. I don't know why. There's no justification for it. There's no reason for it. I certainly am not a better person because of it. I'm a better person in spite of it. Many people who I went through destroy other people and hurt other people, and I try to never do that. And I'm proud that I don't. But so many of my days, so many chapters in my book are just fucking terrible, man. But these last 5-6 years with you, and these last 7 years with my wife, and the last couple years with my dog, they've been wonderful. And I don't think anything's going to go wrong. I think we're going to get this right, and I think it's going to be pretty fantastic when we do. I think this story has a happy ending, and that's the one I'm going to try to write. And that's what I'm concentrating on. Not on my fear, not on my anxiety, not on the self-loathing, but that this story deserves a happy ending for me and for you and for my wife and for everybody involved. So we're going to fight for that. And I think I'll leave you with that, guys. I really do. I hope that you have a happy ending coming up for you. I'd love to know what that ideal happy ending would be for you. What do you want the rest of your life to be like? Tell me about it in the comments section below. Tell me if you ever read a story that had a happy ending. Would you like to rewrite a bad story and give it a happy ending? Tell me. Use the word happy ending in the comments section below, and I know you made it all the way to the end of this video, and I look forward to reading these comments. Even though every time I talk about my weight, they can be very damaging. I'm hoping this time will be different. That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, but we'll see. Guys, I love you very much. I'll speak with you again. So, this video has a happy ending.